made. 'Cause here in the white room, no one stops and stares at me. I can't hear you screaming, I can't feel you gone, and everything is done. I'm lying on the floor now, hey, dreaming of your touch. And somehow I forgive you for leaving me alone. 'Cause here in the white room, I'm lying next to you. Heads held tight like diamonds, all our dreams came true. Here in the white room.
Ooh, bless. What you doing, man?
And this is why I
No, it's not tonight. I need to change the title.
just
Retarded.
feel you close. Heavy hearted lie. Hold on to your ghost.
Yeah, I need to change the title real fast. I have a few clips already. Trying to find my fucking.
It wasn't just a vision, darling, I loved you.
I'm so unorganized. My fucking god, it's killing me. I need to fix that. Just have folders on folders.
Dreaming of your touch.
Let's see. We'll just make it this.
What are you running from? Can you feel it? Like we've lost all our direction, all our fears are resurrected.
I did. I heard they mobilized. Was it 175,000? Is that correct? I think that's what I remember reading. A lot. A lot. A lot. Ugh. Too much. Hey, Globalize, can you do me a favor? While you watch, if you hear a noise from my microphone, it sounds like glitching because I've been having that problem lately. I think there's some bitrate mismatch or disconnect between Ableton and my audio interface and something and streaming it through OBS. So I don't think it might be through OBS, but if you hear it, can you let me know? All right, good. It's pretty noticeable. It'll be like, and it'll like go away. It's a really, it's not like a hardware problem. It's definitely like a moment where the bit rates between all my different audio interfaces and like audio inputs and outputs are just like something's wrong. I think I fixed it, but if you do, just let me know. It happens periodically, not like constant. It could happen when my computer's overloaded a little. I'm not like if the CPU is being used too much. But I'm only seeing 20% right now, so All right, what are we doing today? Do you have a link I can read really fast on more of that Russian? I also noticed this, which my debate 2 days ago, very funny. Trump fucking was late by a. You hear it now? Okay, fucking. It's so annoying. You figure out what the fuck that is. Wonder if it's one of these. No, it's a glitch. It's definitely a glitch. Plugging it and then replugging it. We'll see if that works. It's not the mic, bro. You fucking dweeb. I think it could be. Wait, why do I have this even? I think I just fucked it up. No, I didn't. I don't even need that as an output. Why the fuck was that even there? And then I'm in safe mode. Just take that off. I've been hearing some misinformation online. Not like about that specifically, but just like a lot of Russian misinformation saying that like a certain city, integral city, is like about to fall. But I have a hard time believing those things because there's a lot of lies online when it comes to that shit. But that still doesn't mean I shouldn't take it seriously, right? Can't remember the name right now, but you might find this interesting. Check out this. The debate was who supports Ukraine more, right? Trump or Biden? It's just, uh, I did learn it, but I mean, I don't really know what that means, right? It doesn't really mean that much to me. Hey, Samurai. Let's see here. Like, sure. Like one of the main points of contention in the debate here, I'll just show you guys, was that he said that my argument's bad because Biden denied missiles to Ukraine and appeased Russia. I shit you not. So I'm just like, what? That was a NATO decision, right? Until North Korea used troops in Kharkov, and then NATO took advantage of that and was like, well, now we can let Ukraine use long range missiles into Russia, deep into Russia, because I feel like they overstepped their boundaries here, right? Like it was a managed risk, is what I told in the debate, but like, yeah, I mean that's kind of natural, right? Dan, I think Dan would probably say, shouldn't speak for him, but I think he's okay with that for sure.
All right, so we're talking about specifically aid
Oh
when it
shit,
comes to
that's
the
low.
war effort with Russia. So this breaks down on two levels for me. This is first, ideologically, it's a no-brainer. Everyone's known their entire lives. Russia's
An assistance didn't just violate process; it weakened Ukraine's.
up to $200 million.
Right here.
Okay, well, that happened. So maybe just better debate prep next time. And the second question, Biden withheld $200 million of aid to Ukraine during the negotiations at a time where Ukraine was begging them to send it, saying that Russia was gathering troops on their borders and about to invade, saying this is a critical time for them to get
Hey,
aid.
that
And the Biden administration was withholding it. You said they never withheld this. But when you had
So
talked
what
about
again?
Trump with $200 million in aid, in military aid,
What I did, yeah.
it was missiles. They
Which
they
missiles?
were withholding $200 million in aid just a couple of weeks
Which
before the
missiles?
conflict started. I would have to look at my citation to tell you exactly, but again, you said this
Okay,
did
well, they are
not
the
happen,
long-range
and I'm
missiles
telling you,
that we weren't
no, they
able,
were
we weren't
not
able to
long-range
shoot
missiles.
anywhere.
They were not long-range missiles, and they were not able to shoot it. The Biden administration
Yeah, yeah, I do. Protein. Let's go. Yeah, he's essentially saying that because Biden didn't unilaterally let Ukraine use Patriot missiles and Atacams and like the Storm Shadow missile from NATO, from Britain in particular, he was like, that means Biden was not a stalwart defender of Ukraine. And I'm like, what? I'm like, it's something so fucking stupid.
administration's
But
official demands of Ukraine was that they could
speaking of, what do you mean? Trump's like, nah, like they've been allowed to do it. What is going on?
not shoot it. So on top of
Okay.
that, are you denying that this $200 million was not withheld?
Actually, it was NATO because we're a part of NATO.
It doesn't matter if it was NATO or the Mars. It was Biden's
that
admin. We
not
control
matter?
NATO. If we told
We said we control NATO.
NATO we don't want to do this, NATO wouldn't have done this. And all of NATO was not on board. That was
He's just like, we control NATO.
also part of our
I
discussion.
don't know
It was
how
also
you
China
think
and
that's
India that
actually
were
a
asking
good
for this. It
argument,
doesn't
or
matter.
that's a good thing.
Because we're talking about the Biden administration's policies, and every time I bring up a Biden administration policy, you hand wave it away as, well, other people were doing it too, so we can't blame
No,
Biden
it was
for
a
the
serious
policy
risk
he
at the
chose and
time. It was
enacted. It's
a serious
bad
risk of
faith
nuclear
hand
war.
waving. It's just bad
It's not
faith.
that- The U.S. can veto on the Security Council, but I mean, so can other NATO countries. We can't just like unilaterally decide to let Ukraine use Atacams and Patriot missiles deep into Russia without consulting with NATO. And this idea, like Russia was, I'm sure Globalized here could tell us pretty succinctly why the long range missiles were a problem. Russia was like more aggressive on the threatening things when it came to those missiles because they knew that if Ukraine was able to hit the refineries like they are doing right now, Russia will have major problems. So they were very like strict. And in hindsight, it looks really stupid to like appease Russia, but it wasn't so stupid back then. Like there were a few things that could have actually started nuclear war, and that was pretty high on Russia's like threatening list. So it was a managed risk. Whether or not it turned out to be the right one, Trump, even after we've lifted the fucking restrictions, I guess is not even letting Ukraine use the fucking Tomahawks anyway. So this whole debate, bro, he's like, Biden didn't allow Ukraine to use the missiles. And I'm like, that was because of NATO and the managed risk. And then Biden did lift the sanctions when Russia used North Korean troops in Kharkov. He's like, well, you said that he was a stalwart defender. And I'm like, what? You can't be a stalwart defender? Are you going to use the word that literal right now? In my head, I'm just like, there's no way you're literally, like the prompt is who supports more? And like even right now, Trump is literally like, yeah, no long range missiles for you because of what? He said, for fears that he does not want to escalate the war. Go fuck yourself, bro. Just,
Hand waving away, so you don't have to admit you took an L on this.
sorry,
one.
Samurai.
Now, going back to my question, after Biden withheld that aid, you said that Biden was on the same team as Ukraine consistently. You even said in your opener
Correct.
that he was.
I don't really think he's trying to discredit Christianity. No. Bugos. all of the aid was signed into law under Biden. And Biden majorly pushed out probably more aid. Actually, I'm not sure. Depends on when the aid goes out. Biden was able to do it fully, I think, in 2024. I know how much the bill is worth, yeah. Because presidents don't get to decide these things, Bogos. There's a bill for it. It has to be appropriated money. Yeah, Dan's arguments contextually make fundamentalists and apologists really upset. Because there's a lot of contradiction in the Bible, so you should criticize that. 100%. Did you watch his most recent video on that then? The Christian nationalism, like 25. I'm assuming. Is there a part in particular that you're talking about? It's not just that they take them literally too, Samurai. It's that it's kind of, some verses are pretty impossible to take literal. Yeah, like there's no way to actually take some of the verses literally. So if you do take them literally, the Bible doesn't have God speaking to you, right? I mean, I think it's a pathway for people who believe, and I find it interesting, obviously. I'm not really a believer, right? But it still has some like property in it, right? That makes me want to read it. History or just spiritual in general. But yeah. Like think of some of the things that are in the Bible, and it's not really God literally speaking to you, right? Like books and writing don't have the ability to translate that. So this is a problem when it comes to reading even like politics and like political theory and stuff, okay? People read in what they want out. They're ideologues. So what they do is they come with something for, and they read in what they want out of it. They will find a text to take literally, not because the text is very clear and literal, but because they just want to project something else onto it using the text. It's a tool. And that's dangerous, but it's really easy to do. Everyone does it, me included. Yes, we have. I mean, the US has the most capability to do that. Logos. I do have a question, okay? You would probably agree that the United States military is the strongest military in the world, right? I'll get to the question actually in a second. I feel like that's a pretty safe claim. What do you think? Has Griswold been sworn in yet, by the way? Oh, no. Go.
It's been 5 years since President Trump appeared.
It's been 5 years since we had him last on, where he bitched and complained.
It's been 5 years since President Trump appeared
This lady is stuck in the 80s as well.
for an interview on 60 Minutes. A lot has happened since then, not least of which was his political comeback and triumphant return to the White House. On Friday, hours after he touched down from his world.
Logos. He does, bro. Come on. The fuck are you doing? He does. He has to he has literally bit his tongue. Okay, he has bit his tongue until he's bled. He probably should have bled to death by now, in my opinion. Dealing with Trump, I don't know how that man does it. Yeah, Ali's a fucking weirdo. Yes, because Christianity is dominant in the United States. That's just a product of probability. But they're not really, they don't really care whether or not brown people are Christian or not. Ah, nice, Graham. Bogos, can like what I asked you earlier, okay? You would agree that the United States has the strongest military on the earth, right? Yeah. If you were the strongest military on the earth, would you want other countries to rely on you so you can make money off them after you give them stuff? So they have to use your equipment. They have to essentially rely on you for this militaristic hegemony. Or would you want all these countries to then suddenly make militaries for themselves? Like, that has nothing to do. I mean, it does a little. We spend a lot of money on the military, but that kind of goes into private profits. It's not like we give that much money to advance the debt in donations. Okay, that's not how it works. No, it doesn't. No, because every dollar you can't just look at it like a zero sum game. In economics, we don't need Ukraine to pay it back. We make money on it. All of that shit that we give Ukraine, or we're putting on loans that we can finance through banks because we're just financing this shit on behalf of Ukraine, it's going to allow us to sell more of it. We end up making a lot of money when we gave in Iraq, okay? When we gave like Apache helicopters to Israel, Israel gave us information on how they performed and worked. Ended up kind of allowing us to sell more of all these different equipments that we make, okay? It doesn't really just pan out that we don't just give money for free, okay? I disagree. That entire area, if the U.S. wants to make sure that it can secure supply chains like rare earth metals, which China and Russia have a lot of, and we are running out of places too. We have a deal with Malaysia. We have a deal with another country that has good rare earth metals, and Ukraine has tons. So if the U.S. wants to have a better economic outcome, that's way more than whatever billions we can give in military equipment that we already fucking have. Okay, man? I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot of other factors that go into these things. The amount of money we would lose if we weren't able to have good relations with Ukraine to secure rare earth metals in the future would far eclipse whatever the fuck we give in some stupid fucking military shelf of decaying fucking items. And Bogos, do you want European Union to not rely on the U.S. for military equipment? We make money on it. We make money on NATO. Ukraine specifically, not so much. They don't really have a way to give us back right now, but no, it's just you. I'm trying to tell you something. We have the strongest military on planet Earth because we have allied with other countries and they have allowed us to be this military hegemony. Would you want to disrupt that? Why do we want everyone to make tanks and shit? We make the best tank, and we let them use older tanks that aren't as good. We have complete control over all this. We let them use systems that we designed, and we make them pay money for it afterwards. They're relying on us. Would you want them to suddenly not be relying on us? I think that's kind of true, but I don't think you fully understand why the military in the US is actually as strong as it is. If you want every other country on planet Earth to build a military to try and rival us, then we're going to have a lot more problems. And the US, in my opinion, the reason I call it a positive country, even though I can't say that for everything, obviously, grand. Obviously. But we have a few countries that we have a deal with for this. China, we don't. We have a lot of countervalence on them. Trump has no idea what he's talking about. China makes most of rare earth metals in the entire planet, and we, on purpose, put countervalence against them because we don't want our local and like domestic economies to just get fucked. So we make deals with like Malaysia and other countries. Yeah, I know, it's fucking annoying. Maybe I should get out of Ableton. See if that works. I don't know why it's fucking doing that. Ukraine, I don't think has done that much. Yeah. Myanmar, sorry, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, not very good. Securing deals are not enough. Oh my god, Israel. I mean, I don't want to overestimate how much innovation Israel does, but Israel very much helps the U.S. become like stay a militaristic hegemony. Once again. Is it that bad right now? How often is it happening? I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, it comes in like every. I don't know why it's doing it either. I could lower sample size really fast. $5. What? There's no way. There's literally no way. There is no way. Mm-hmm. Let's check Chat GPT, guys. Let's do it. Oh yeah, I'm using an audio interface. Yeah, I'm thinking the buffer size probably needs to. What? No, man. I can do USB. It's just it could be the fucking XLR cable. That actually might be true. Where is enhancements? All right, while I do this, I'm gonna put this on.
Whirlwind trip to Asia, Mr. Trump agreed to sit down with us for a wide-ranging conversation. It was exactly 1 year to the day since he sued Paramount, the parent company of CBS, alleging that 60 Minutes had deceptively edited an interview with his opponent, Kamala Harris. Paramount settled that lawsuit. The settlement did not include an apology or admission of wrongdoing.
Well, I'm sure there's a reason for it. Probably has to do with the fact that China's right next to him, and then depending on what Japan actually has a pretty capable defense force, and if I'm not mistaken, quite a few Air Force related things from the United States. So maybe again, all of us kind of work together to make sure that we appropriate aid the best way and most efficient way, right? So like the problem with Trump rhetoric is he'll sit there and go, NATO's not giving enough, but then he doesn't really understand that all of these countries have because we pretty much supply not anymore, unfortunately, because Europe is not trusting the U.S. anymore, but you know, old tanks and things like that. Some countries like Germany still make the Leopard, you know, but it would be really dumb to be like Spain, start making a tank. Just spend money to get to fucking 5%. Like, why would they fucking do that? Like, they can give infantry so we can like train them, and then they can help NATO in different ways. But like, there is no reason that Spain should be spending a bunch of money to fucking build a tank that's never even going to be anywhere close to the tanks that already exist in NATO. He just has a fundamentally fucking retarded view of how and why different countries spend different amounts. Hello, man. How you doing? Sync sample rates and increase buffer size. That's what it's got to be, the sample rates. But I have them synced, so I'm really fucking confused right now. Is it still being annoying every now and then? Sure. What is it? World War II technically didn't start until the history books decided to choose that as the day, but yeah. No one really knew when the start of World War II happened until afterwards.
We're going down to exactly the same fate which destroyed the greatest civilization the world has seen before the modern age, the civilization of ancient Greece. When you had in quite a small area...
Yeah, in a way. I mean, it's much easier to like choose how history looks in hindsight, right? It's kind of the main reason.
Hating each other, fighting each other,
Sorry,
and
Samurai.
destroying each other. And that wonderful thing which it produced thought of...
I think I'd still be mixed.
Of an incredible...
I do love baseball, yeah. Why?
beauty which has adorned the ages ever since. That wonder of Greece was destroyed because
I think I'd be a little bit of both,
realized
Samurai.
the brotherhood of Hellas and lived together in friendship and
I don't like feel myself polling one way or the other because one is more enticing to me. I do it more pragmatically, I think.
in amity and in.
And then something I emotionally have more opinions in or like conviction in. So like, you know, family discipline and things like that, I think are pretty conservative values. And they kind of change depending on who I'm talking to. A lot of people would say I have really weird boundaries. Like I feel like my boundaries with respect are not really similar. They're not like completely compatible with most people. I get very angry for things that most people don't sometimes, that they feel are just like not a big deal, but to me they are. So I don't know. I don't think I'd be socially or progressive Christian if I was. I think I'd be still the way I am right now.
With the French about, like we quarreled before with many other people. Europe's quarrels are nothing in the balance with Europe's great common interests and something greater than any interest, a community of blood and a community of tradition.
The music.
My friends, it's time we began to think of it. There were days not very long ago when Englishmen and Scotsmen and Welshmen couldn't live together at all, when they fought each other continually. There were days before that when you had
I disagree with that.
between Wessex and Mercia in England. Before that when village fought village. But they came together in bigger communities because they had the same blood and the same
You wanna play Borderlands?
feelings. And they became a nation. And that's exactly what we're asking European peoples to do. By everything that we've got, all the great things we have in common. We've had the wars which divide us, but we've had the philosophers, the poets, the painters, the sculptors, the artists,
Whoa.
the wonders and the genius of the European mind. Those are the things which unite. Worlds are divided. We shall try. Our pride, blood of blood. We fought for nothing. We lost our.
Who is this? Oswald Mosley? Got him. Got him. For real, bro. I immediately was just like, what? And this was the fucking play back in the 1920s, wasn't it? Wait, what? This is the guy from Peaky Blinders? Oh, wait, yeah. What the fuck? The main argument, Samurai? I did not. No, I'm sorry. The main argument against the Bibles, why I don't think the Bible condemns homosexuality is because it was not a concept at the time of the Bible's, most of the Bible's writing. It really wasn't. So without there even being a concept of it, I find it very interesting that people think that it can actually condemn it. That would be number one. And then number two, even the verbiage. Thank you. Even the verbiage just doesn't condemn homosexuality, again, because it really doesn't have a concept of it. If it did, it simply would just say things like sleeping with a man, like sleeping with an animal, is an abomination, like it does in the next line in Exodus. You know, it just depends. Yeah, apologists would argue from some presuppositions. They would use later Christian teachings that tried to figure these things out. Like, the concept of homosexuality did become something later, and just like we have our presuppositions and our formations now, the renegotiations, that happened throughout history. So people absolutely renegotiated that. And homosexuality became something that people thought it said. But for instance, when a lot of the different, well, it is like a culmination of different translations and what people think it says. So like whenever you're like for the Exodus one, right? If we go to Exodus, is it 21? Is it 21, 22? No, it's pretty much right next to this though. If we go to the NRSVU, okay, just trying to be as close and readable as possible to the original. We have law concerning slaves, violence, property. Should be Am I thinking of Exodus or Numbers? I'm thinking of Numbers. Levitical law. Jesus Christ. My brain is fucking. Oops. Leviticus. This one. Yeah, here it is. People believe a lot of things, Samurai, that they know are wrong, or don't know they're wrong. Maybe they're deluded into thinking they're not wrong, but I can't really explain why someone doesn't, in the face of pretty much all evidence, decides to emotionally believe something that they want to anyway. But this doesn't have to be religion. People do this for everything. People do this for economics. People do this for politics. People do this for relationships. People do this for everything on the planet. So I'd probably just say it's more or less like a human condition to, I don't know. There is a lot of like heavy emotional identity involved in religion, right? So if someone was raised and born and raised and then, continued on the condition of fundamentalism, all of that time is going to make it very hard to walk away from being fundamental. You'd have to reject a lot of yourself that you've been your entire life. And that might be just too much for some people. I don't know. It's not really that fun though, so I get it. But in Leviticus 22, or 18:22, right? Yeah, I will in a second. We have, I'll read the whole thing here. Yeah, I honestly, I didn't really know, Samurai, if that was the case or not, but what I will say is that if you were grown up or you were taught to be a fundamentalist, it would be a little bit more difficult, I think. We could agree on that. The conversations we're having would probably have a little bit more of a difficult synergy, right? I think it would make it harder, like I was just mentioning before. But in Leviticus it says, "You shall not approach a woman to uncover her nakedness while she is in her menstrual uncleanliness." So right away, Bible doesn't like periods. Blood and women on period is like one of the most sinful, disgusting things on the planet. There's so much of Levitical law that relates to this, by the way. They do not think that women on their periods is clean, okay? You shall not have sexual relations with your neighbor's wife and defile yourself with her. Okay. A lot of property here. A lot of wife and property. You shall not give any of your offspring to sacrifice them to Molech and so profane the name of God. I'm your Lord. Okay. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. Now, this is in the NRSVUE. But there's a problem with this line in particular. And I want to point out that the other two lines surrounding this one are very clear. The one about sexual relations with animals, there's no unclear like Hebrew in it. It is just like, don't defile yourself. The one above is don't defile yourself. This one though, it doesn't make sense. That's not why I did that. I don't even know how they would know that. Bogos, just think to yourself, how would they even know that? Again, they didn't have a concept of homosexuality. A man who did anal with a woman is committing sodomy. It's about domination. That's the idea, which is brutal, but I mean, that's the idea there. Now, well, I'm sure he really helped all of the people who invaded that city on behalf of God. He checked every one of those buttholes before he told them. I'm going to change the Bible verse really fast, okay? We're going to go to the King James Version. The same place. You shall not lie. Oh, actually, change it, right? Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind it is an abomination. Okay, even weirder. This version, notoriously, is like, it tried to literally translate every word without moving any of the words from the original Greek, right? The Septuagint and whatever scripts they had. So the King James Version is notoriously impossible to read sometimes. It'll just have lines that make no sense. But for this one, it kind of makes sense. We can say that. Now, what I want to do is show the interlineary here, okay? And if you guys can't see this, just let me know. I'm doing Bible study right now. So in Leviticus 18, if we go to the entire Hebrew here, okay? Verse 22. So we have, I'm going to start from 19 again. Of your neighbor wife, moreover, her nakedness to uncover, you shall approach to defile yourself, sowing carnally. Lie not, pass through the fire. You shall let not any of your descendants, I, God of your name, of your God, the name shall you profane, nor to Molech, a woman, as with you shall lie, not a male, and with Yahweh. Okay? Now, there's an even bigger problem here, is how the interlineary, okay? Weird amongst biblical narratives about. Yeah, the walls of Jericho thing is it was mainly earthquakes, if I'm not mistaken, that did that. So if you go and look at what these Hebrew the Hebrew here means, I have a little section here, okay? I already have it pulled up because it's a pretty common question. So this Redditor kind of puts it out really well, in my opinion. He sources a great part of Reddit to figure out a lot of stuff about the Bible, in my opinion. He's quoting Tab Stewart, Leviticus page 99. This is a biblical scholar, okay? So Tab Stewart is depends. There's quite a different ones. The Septuagint is in Greek, right? Depends on. So the Septuagint is a version of Greek, okay? And it's called the LXX. And this is a very large portion of the New Testament. Most of the translations we have stem from this in some way for the New Testament. obviously the Old Testament is not in Greek. It is in many different types of Semitic language of Hebrew. So Hebrew has quite a lot of different words. One word. Because Hebrew, like Semitic languages like Hebrew, or the language Hebrew, if we go down to, if we take this word, for instance, Isaiah, right? We go to Strong Hebrew for this, right? Just this one word alone, woman, wife. Okay, we could go down to the bottom here, and it'll tell you all of the different ways that it was written in Hebrew. Over time, because not every culture of, Semitic speaking culture that was writing and speaking Hebrew, this is the many different variations from the many different communities. That's a lot, right? So each one of these has like contextual like transliterism or literacism, Jesus Christ, that essentially is differently translated differently each time. So in the canonization of the Bible, when it comes to putting the right word that people want, that doesn't, they have to choose one. They have to choose one of these. And a lot of the times, if you go back to the source material, the context of where they decided to change or use the form is not matching to the direct source. And a lot of this is not really something we can figure out, but yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. It most likely was a written allegory. A lot of and Numbers, right? Like God opens the ground, splits open the earth, and swallows part of Moses' tribe in front of them, and then just like closes the earth back up. I mean, it's just, a lot of it is allegory. Okay? Like, the thing about like God in the Old Testament, again, I think I said this on stream the other day, but God is like there in the Old Testament. You don't have to worry about hell, because there is no like, God is not present in the New Testament, but in the Old Testament, God's there, bro. If you act out, God will fucking smite you. He's just like, he is present in the makings of the Old Testament, okay, the entire time. In the New Testament, not so much. So I don't really know if all that really happened, in my opinion. I feel like it is mostly allegory. Like he straight up takes an active participatory role in just fucking murdering and killing tons of people for no reason sometimes. Like the whole book of Numbers is about Moses' tribe. Is about Moses' tribe being banished to the fucking wilderness, for 40 years, because God was like, you need to conquer the Canaanites. And then Moses' scouts went out and were like, yo, they're pretty fucking advanced. They'll fuck kick our ass. And then God was like, you dare disobey me? And he's like, fucking wander the desert for like 40 years. Like, fucking eat dirt now. There is no new or old covenant. Sorry. I think you're talking about in Galatians when Paul tries to distance Christians from the old Levitical law, yeah? But there is no old or new covenant. There is no real separation between civil, yeah. That's literally what happened. Like, the scouts came back and told Moses, like, we'll get our fucking ass kicked. They're pretty strong, man. And God was like, having none of it, bro. He was like, God is not very forgiving in the Old Testament. He's only forgiving in the New Testament. God calls himself a jealous God in the Old Testament. He's not someone who forgives a lot. I want to finish this though really fast. So the actual Hebrew, okay, it's important to note that Leviticus 18:22, 20:13 in the original Hebrew are actually very vague texts. It doesn't seem like we know what the crux phrase of Leviticus 18:22 and 20:13 means. While many assume that the meaning of the text is perfectly clear, there's difficulties. Most importantly, Bruce Wells, another biblical scholar, writes, both contain the phrase this, miskebe, a long-standing crux for interpreters. Jacques Berlineblau. That is a fucking name. Jacques Berlineblau. That's not the covenant, though. The covenant is, there's only one covenant, and that's the covenant with God. It's lost in translation because someone has to choose what they think the word means, and that there is no real consensus of what the word means. It says, what it actually says is this. In the most literal sense that we can think of, the Hebrew says this: and with a male you will not lie, lying downs of a woman, it is an abomination. And the phrase you will and with the male you will not lie seems explicit and clear, but then the second part, why even put that there? It says, why would you add the extra part where it says lying downs of a woman, on the beds of a woman is what it can also mean. So why would they say you will not lie, male, you will not lie on the beds of a woman? Doesn't make any sense. So it's a little unclear, actually. And it could be a qualifier, like what it says down here. Functions as limiting the scope of the prohibition to a specific male-to-male relationship where they don't sleep in the bed with a woman who's on her period. Because right before this, we already looked at this, right? It talks a lot about uncleanliness of women when they're on their period. It's it's very very weird. Well, the thing is, I actually can't say what it says, Bogos. That's actually the real answer. I cannot say what it says. What's this?
There is a place in Russia where people have discovered the secret of living in perfect harmony. A place where the children run free, where the earth provides everything you need, and where money is meaningless. Welcome to the Church of the Last Testament. This is Petropavlovka, a small settlement located deep within the taiga forest of Siberia, over 100 miles away.
Dude, what did they pay like an orchestra to fucking do this? No idea. No. The covenant, though, the only covenant that I can think of that's not like I think there's only one covenant in my opinion. There's Levitical law, but like the covenant would be the one that's made with Abraham. And or maybe I'm pretty sure the one with Noah is the one that says, and this is the covenant, right? There's only one covenant. Oh, I grabbed the wrong fucking book. And in Genesis, right? God says, the covenant with Noah. He says, God blessed Noah and his sons. And he says, God said to Noah and to his sons with him, as for me, I'm establishing my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the domestic animals, and every animal of the earth, and as many as can be on the ark. Establish my covenant with you that never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of a flood. And he says, this is a sign of the covenant that I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all future generations. I will remember my covenant that is between me and you and every living creature. I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature. This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. So, to me, I feel like that one's pretty clear.
Away from the nearest town. It looks like a elf village at like a putt-putt course.
100%. My favorite book is in the Old Testament. Ecclesiastes is full of fucking moral prescriptions.
About 20 years ago, a handful of disciples came here to worship and live with Vissarion, or the teacher as he is commonly known. Today, Vissarion's Church of the Last Testament has over 5,000 followers from all around the world. About 2,000 live here and in the surrounding areas. I came here in hopes of meeting the man.
Dude,
About 2,000 live here and in the surrounding areas. I came here in hopes of meeting the man himself, who hasn't granted an interview to the media in at least 3 years.
Вы внемлите тому глазу, который не спослан ныне Богом к вам.
the rapture is an 1850s invention of a few specific Christians.
Спасибо.
Also, has my mic gotten better, or is it still doing the thing? I will just do it off stream so I don't waste everyone's time, but I just want to know if it's still there. If it is, I'm going to fucking a bit. Fuck. Wait. Is this it? I think I just found it. Whoa. My God, look at all this crap. I think I just found it. In, out, 4 channels. 24, got it. Analog in. 2 channel. Shouldn't it be 6? Did it work? Low. How was it that low? I don't know. Let me know if it still continues to where the fuck it does. I mean, yeah. I don't know why Focusrite was doing 6 input. Like, why are you doing 6? In 6, that's what it says. What in the fuck? I mean, now it's... Because the Bible is not the only thing that teaches what the Bible says. The Bible is secondary to the wills and emotions of people. And the real teachers of the Bible, because the Bible does not actually say anything from a point of view. There's a saying in like writing, samurai, again, where books and writings do not actually tell you what people thought when they wrote it down, right? The only thing that can do that is the person. So when you read people's writing and you read people's books and what they're saying and doing, things like the Bible, any story, it is really important to remember that just because you're reading the words of something doesn't mean you actually know what they're trying to say. That is just, unfortunately, the reality that we have to live in. But people cannot do that. 6 is better than 1. Where's the article? The Walls of Jericho thing? I already know about that. Peaky Blinders.
You both met bad men before. The man we're about to meet is the devil.
My name's Mosley. By the way, Oswald Mosley. And let me just say, you've come to my attention.
Wow.
Sir Oswald.
And who, might I ask, are you?
Mr. Shelby.
Before we join the others, I have some business.
We would like to talk business.
You are moving away from the party in a different direction.
An evening with a tribe of gypsies. And which direction is that? Mr. Shelby, I do have plans.
Towards
Looks pretty cool. I am going to watch this video with Trump.
In our nearly 90-minute conversation this past week, we spoke with Mr. Trump about the country and the world.
The story will continue in a moment.
We met with the president at Mar-a-Lago, his private club in Florida, on the 31st day of the government shutdown. We are now approaching the longest shutdown in American history.
Democrats' fault.
Under your presidency,
Dude, without missing a beat, bro. Why is he fucking so awesome, bro? What, in Jericho? That doesn't make it not an allegory. Do you know what an allegory is, Gran? An allegory doesn't have to have a miraculous state of affairs and events. It's like a metaphor. It can literally just exist in metaphorical. What? I'm confused.
we're talking about more than 1 million federal workers who are not getting a paycheck, including our air traffic controllers. You see there's traffic snarls out at the airports now.
Sure.
This weekend,
Snarls,
food
he
aid
says.
for more than
Snarls.
42 million Americans is set to expire. What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, let's vote.
Senate Democrats say they will vote to reopen the government if Republicans agree to extend subsidies for over 20 million Americans who use Obamacare for their health insurance.
Obamacare is terrible. It's bad health care at far too high a price. We should fix that. We should fix it. And we can fix it with the Democrats. All they have to do is let the country open and we'll fix it. They have to let the country open and I'll sit down with the Democrats and we'll fix it. But they have to let the country. And you know what they have to do? All they have to do is raise 5 hands. We don't need all of them.
But so you're saying your plan is to tell the Democrats to vote to end the shutdown.
Correct. Very simple.
And that you will put forward a health care plan?
No, we will work on fixing the bad health care that we have right now. We have terrible.
Dude, why is this guy so awesome? He's literally retarded. You know what I mean? I think that'll be good. That's a good spot. I'll be fine. Here. I promise my girlfriend I play. And also I want to play.
Health care at too expensive for the people, not for the government, for the people.
But, Mr. President, with all due respect, you've been talking about fixing the health care insurance plan
and you
since
can't do it because of the
2015.
Democrats.
But
That's
since
right.
2015, you've said you'd
I've been
fix it.
talking about it for a long time. We almost did it. We were 1 vote short. We would have had great health care.
And you get what great healthcare called fucking none? Like what?
That was in 2017, when Senate Republicans failed by one vote to partially repeal Obamacare.
We can make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where is
and
that
I'd
plan?
be willing to
But
work
where's
with the
that plan?
Democrats
1%.
on it. The problem is they want to give
Yeah, I
money
know, I
to
saw that.
prisoners, to drug dealers.
Yeah, well, I'm better
to
looking.
all these millions
I
of
answered
people
it,
that
Sam,
were
right?
allowed to come in with an open border from Biden.
We definitely can see archaeological events from thousands of years ago. On the scale that we're talking about in the Bible, yeah, we definitely would be able to see them. Like the Exodus of it's in and of itself, you know, with the amount of people it was supposed to have, there would absolutely be evidence of it. %, bro. What the fuck are you compiling?
And nobody can do that.
Can I
Not
just-
one Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those healthcare subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for
Didn't hear?
many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double. Live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm
If
saying we can
those-
fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past
I
when they
did.
came
I
about,
did.
and you did it by bringing.
I'm very
mem-
good at it,
You
but I'm
brought
not going to
members of
do it by.
Congress
I'm not going to
to
do
the
it by
White House.
extortion. I'm not going to do it by being.
Was that a self-report?
Extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people.
So then what happens on November
Schumer is a
15th when the
basket
troops
case.
don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. He's become, I just left Japan, he's become a kamikaze pilot.
Sounds like it's
We
not going to
would
get
we would
solved,
see
the shutdown.
archaeological
It's going to get
evidence.
solved, yeah. Oh,
Never.
it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will
Not on that
capitulate.
scale.
I
It
think
wouldn't be
they
that
have
difficult.
to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear.
This guy is unhinged, dude. I mean, they've lost their minds, so I think we should do the nuclear option, knowing damn well what nuclear means colloquially, which means destroy everything.
By the way, it's called ending the filibuster.
But to do that, he'd need Senate Majority Leader
There are none. There is none.
John Thune to change Senate rules.
Trust me,
Did
people
you
have
see
tried.
John Thune said today they're
I
not
know
going to do
John
that.
doesn't.
It's not for lack of trying.
John and a few other. But you know what? The Republicans have to get tougher. If we end the filibuster, we can do exactly what we want. We're not going to lose power. The theory is, oh, then we'll do it. But then when they get into power someday, they'll do it. That's true. But you know what?
So you think
That's true.
John
We're
Thune-
here right now.
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
I like John Thune. I think he's terrific. But I disagree with him on this point.
he said today he wasn't going to do it?
Well, that's too bad.
So far, the shutdown hasn't spooked the stock market, which hit record highs this past week.
Perfect timing for your show. Just hit an.
Okay. In what, like 5 fucking companies? All fucking investing in AI? You know what that means? That means our companies and our private businesses right now have no idea what the fuck they're doing. What do you mean? Never mind. Also, type it in chat so I can see it. My whisper thing doesn't really tell me. Oh my god, more shaders? Dude, I heard you like shaders. So I put shaders in your shaders, dude. What is this? Graham, why do you have to say the word cult in there?
All-time high. We're doing really well.
Can I ask you,
Smart
Mr.
people,
President, on that
definitely.
point, though?
Yeah.
When the stock market is doing well, that doesn't affect everybody. Not everybody's invested in the
does.
stock
Oh, it
market.
does. It does.
But there have been grocery
No,
prices are up.
401ks. People have 401ks. Their 401ks are double what they were a year ago.
But for people that
Are they going to retire right now? He knows what a 401k is, right?
Don't have 401ks
Well, I
or are
mean,
not
sure,
invested in the
sure,
stock market.
but
They've
if-
seen their grocery prices go up, inflation.
No, you're wrong. They went up under.
Okay, yep. Well, how about they went up under both of you? Mainly because of you, but
Biden. Right now, they're going down. Other than beef, which we're working on, which we can solve very quickly.
On the economy, the signature part of your economic plan is tariffs. The Supreme Court is going to hear arguments this week on whether you have the authority to impose these sweeping
Can't
tariffs
wait.
without congressional approval. The lower courts have ruled against you. That's why it's at
Well,
the Supreme
no,
Court right now.
Very close rulings here.
What happens to your economic plan if the Supreme Court invalidates your tariffs?
I think our country will be immeasurably hurt. I think our economy will go to hell. Look, because of tariffs, we have the highest stock market we've ever had. Because of tariffs,
Well, the Book of
401ks
Exodus is supposed to
at the highest
describe
level and this is
the
millions
journey
of
and the
people that we've ever had. 401ks. I think it's the most
heart of the story of what
important
Israel
subject
became.
discussed by the Supreme
specifically
Court
for
in 100 years.
I know your time
Israeli
is limited, so I do want to
Hebrews,
make sure I
Jews.
get through more of these topics.
Sure.
Immigration. You campaigned on immigration. You largely won the election on a promise to
Did a
close
great
the
job,
border,
don't you think?
and you succeeded
Yeah.
on that. Illegal crossings at the southern border are
Where are you
at
taking
a
me?
55-year low. More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago
Yeah, well, they're
residential
brown.
neighborhood, and the smashing of car
Stop being
windows.
illegal.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with
Oh my
those
god, bro.
tactics?
There's
Yeah, because
nothing
you
I
have to
hate
get the
more than someone who straight up needs to make an excuse for every fucking thing in their fucking life, bro. Like, literally. It's so fucking insufferable. Well, that's because of Obama and Biden. Like, is that how this dude has acted his entire life? Actually, I already know the answer to that. Yes, the answer is yes. It's just fucking annoying, bro. It's inside, isn't it? Oh my god. There's a chest right?
Check that out.
Oh, you opened it. Wait, can't we keep going up? Yeah, up here. It's up above, right? That's up above. I'm in. Oh, we could fast travel here. I mean, we could probably if you're talking to me. Yeah. But I see no reason to call it that when I'm talking to someone who believes. Hey, Energy. Unless you're trying to be meme. But I'm not really in the business of being meme. No reason. What, the quest? No, not yet. I'm too busy opening loot boxes. Isn't that the point of this game? Loot!
Don't be shy. This cake's not that shady. Unless you, want
An exo class!
So,
Not an
ready to
exo
get
class!
your hands dirty?
I am sick of this game shit giving me fucking exo class and Forge Knight.
I've run the numbers.
I was hoping you'd say that. All right, here's the skinny.
Oh.
You ever try mind
That's a good question, right there.
Swirling my mind
And?
doesn't sound great.
What is your answer?
It's a hell of a trip. Totally immersive sensory simulation of a chump's last moments, skimmed straight from their bolt. A real dance for your brain, you might say. Thing is, our library's getting
Okay.
stale. We need
Oh.
new content.
Yeah, your question's good. I'm curious. Energy, sorry, I was about to. I usually start around like 8 to 9. I did promise my girlfriend I would play Borderlands for a bit, so probably not today. But link it.
Like fresh for Gen K. Once you face dying in a mind swirl, you got nothing left to lose. Makes everything better. Air is fresher, food is sweeter, sex is pretty similar, actually, but the other
Because,
stuff.
Samurai, your question is just because something may not be literally true, does that mean we should just get rid of it? I think it's a good question. I want to know how Graham would respond to it. I would very much be interested in that. I have a few books by Bertrand Russell. I think he's very, very intelligent. I think he was a cool mind of that time. I think we should not discard it, no. Do we have anything close? I guess this. Yeah. Why not? Because just because something is not literally true, especially if we're talking about a story, doesn't mean that it doesn't have anything to give. I think if someone did believe that, they'd probably have a hard time believing in anything. Oh shit, I went the wrong way. Oh. Wait, what? Ask him. I'm unfamiliar with her. I just like Lex Friedman though because he's fucking weird, but sorry, that's pretty much all I got for that. He's just fucking weird. Ah.
The death throes are a thrill, but the real freaks love the
I feel like you could probably argue there's power in just about everything if you use it properly. Right?
from a dead signal, but to them, all that black and blur is like staring
Ow.
into the face of death herself.
Oh my god, I suck right now. Ah. These dudes' heads are so tiny. Energy, I feel like it depends on my mood. I feel like there are days when I could probably walk in any room and feel like I can talk to anyone and be anything, and then there are days where I want to like be alone for about years at a time. Depends. I don't think it's that simple to me. I can't even like say that I'm like functionally timid until I'm not, right? It really just isn't that easy for me. Oh my, where the hell did he go? Oh, you got one over there. Oh my. Well, it is a Christian response. Wouldn't you agree, Samurai? I think Zizek or Zivak, I can't remember. I can never say his name properly. I feel like he's a little. I know he's intelligent, and he usually has pretty good, or at least not bad, political takes and just kind of philosophical takes in general. But I really hate the way he does everything. I know he has like problems or a disability, I think, right? But I still just can't seem to get past it. It feels like he's never even tried to work on it. I don't know. Is that like bad of me to say? I'm really not sure. So I haven't really dived too deep into him as a result, but... Is this a boss? What the hell? I can't even see him. Where is he? Like, where the fuck is he, dude? Oh. Shotgun. I have not read his writings either. So I'm gonna stay silent on that energy. But, I mean... What are some of the hardest books you've read?
That should be plenty. Bring him back, and I'll see if any are worth hanging on to.
Fuck. You want to do Mob Justice really fast? I mean, Grand. Every one of the books has moments where you probably don't want to use it for moral lessons, so that's not really a good argument. You shouldn't be thinking of each book as being, you know, univocal, and you gotta take each line by line most of the time. It is a story after all. All it takes is a few words to really get something out of the line in a story. You don't need every single word to come up with something interesting in a story. Is this a shotgun? I'm confused. This doesn't feel like a shotgun. Like, why don't we just call that something else? Why can't I see anything? What is happening? Oh. How is that not a headshot? Okay, so that's a hard book. And how are you feeling on that book? I had to buy another book to understand that book as I was reading it. And then I took a lot of notes. Demonology of the Spirit, fuck that one. Fuck that book. I mean, very interesting writer. Again, you've probably heard me say this, but he uses italics a lot, and I'm just fucking... At least Kant spent more time fleshing out his definitions that he would come up with in his philosophy. The type of spiritual nature that's in our idealism that's in Hegel's philosophy is something I'm not really too satisfied with, so I definitely like Kant more than Hegel. Ow. There's a lot of stuff here, babe. Did you just run? You just ran off, didn't you? There's a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff that isn't for me. Science of logic is good though. But if you can muster through like Kant, I'm pretty sure you can probably read anyone as long as you just take the time. You know, if you don't understand something, then don't be afraid to just like reread it a million times, or seek alternative knowledge, you know, to like help you understand something more. That'd probably be easier, yeah. Or I can just plan for it. If you want to come later. I also have the ability to do that.
Your priorities suck.
Oh, fuck. I saw that thing just pop out. Am I good? Ow. Oh, I did die. Oh my. Where is it? What is that thing? A horn? What is that thing? It has like a loud horn on it. Oh my. Man. Where'd he go? Where's the big one? He in the ground? Oh. His name is Tim? Oh shit. No! Yeah, you were pretty close there. Oh. Alright. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't assert baselessly what you're interpreting. That's really, remember, that's kind of the only thing that I don't like about fundamentalism or evangelicals, is they just kind of forget that part and just move on anyway. Why is this 3,000 DPS? I'm gonna buy it. I have to. I can't just like not buy something that says literally like quadrupled my damage. Right? Doesn't make any sense. Watch, I'm gonna hate this gun. I'm gonna hate this gun as soon as I use it. Oh no, is it a chargy boy? Fuck. It's a chargy boy. Oh my. This gun sucks. Why'd I buy this? I hate this gun. I hate everything. I hate me. I hate this. Baloney. Just over here like picking guns. You got this. This one maybe? Blue though. We don't like blue. Oh. Wasn't this the one that we really couldn't find? This is the one that we couldn't find last time, remember? Yeah, we have. We've been in here before. Yep. See? This is Moxie. We've already done this. Is it wanting us to do the same thing again? No, not. It wants us to go this way. Like the Bible says you should stone gay people. That would be a baseless thing. Because it doesn't. You just fucking kill yourself. Oh. Jeez. We don't have to fight this guy again, do we? One can hope. You did? Except, remember, this is the problem is not your cherry picking Bible verses. It's that someone cherry picks a Bible verse and then they don't actually know what it means, and then they go on to assume they know what it says anyway. That's the problem. There are a lot of things in the Bible that you can cherry pick, but the real problem comes when you decide that not only are you going to cherry pick, but you're going to make up what that line or phrase or verse says. Because that's pretty much what happens most of the time. Like the one with Leviticus about, you know, lines of a woman. I'm perfectly fine saying I don't fucking know what it actually really means, but what I do know that it doesn't mean, for sure, enough to put someone into damnation and condemn them to death in damnation, is that it means specifically homosexuals, because that would be fucking stupid. You did not do that, no. At least everyone does do this in some way. That's everyone does do ideologic or ideologue behavior. It's just how do you go about doing that? I think is probably the better. Like you should try and limit the amount of things you renegotiate and assert without really any data or idea of what it means if it means condemning someone else, right? Joe Rogan sucks. He's fucking annoying. That guy lost so much credibility from me. I'll never forget, he like fucking brought on that woman to talk about the litter boxes in the classrooms, and like didn't understand that the litter boxes were there for like school shooter situations, not for fucking trans kids. He's fucking retarded. Oh, we go this way. That's good. Well, you know, again, a lot of people can't do that, Simmer. So, and again, I don't really have the reason why, but it doesn't only happen in religion. It happens in people have a hard time accepting a lot of things in every position they have, every ideological reason. Oh fuck, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I went the wrong way. We're going over here. And we'll go this way. Well, he's famous, so yeah, he probably has a few. But he also has people who should never even be exposed to that many people. Who the hell is Cobbler? Where are you going? What? No, you have to cross over that mountain. That's why I went over there. Hmm. I'd be interested in him, but I do watch Esoterica. I probably heard a little bit about that from him. I just can't remember. Huh? What in the fuck? Made it.
Not the most sanitary process, but I got the goods.
Graham. I think you're misunderstanding what sin is. Doesn't sin kind of remind you of like a humanistic concept? Do you think sin is something that is uniquely divine? Or do you think sin is like a human concept that manifests itself inside of the teachings of Abrahamic religion?
Can't wait. That sounds super cool.
You'd think, but the kind of editing software that feels like
If you truly deconstruct the idea of sin, you'd probably get to the bottom of the fact that it's a human idea about guilt
take him to my editor in the back.
in a world that really didn't care about other people sometimes.
What the hell? This is what Mind Swirl does to people?
Just drop those bolts on the desk and my guy'll get to them whenever. Careful around the computer though, it's pretty fragile.
Maybe this helps them? Like a really...
I did it.
I need to get out of here.
Oh,
I'm alive.
fuck.
I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Fuck.
Let me live. Let me go. Let me go. Let go. Let me out. Take me. Take me. Take me out. Take me out. Take me.
You good? Are you good? No.
Yeah, you probably breathed some mold spores or something. I should clean that room more nothing, but hey, whatever, you got your money, so none of this is your problem, right?
I think this woman is in pain. I'm not sure though. She was screaming. Mm. That's not what I said. I never said, are you a humanist, bro? I never even mentioned the philosophy of humanism or being a humanist. Oh my. Oh. Oh. What just happened to it? That thing doesn't do any damage, it just yeets them, bro. What is that? That did damage. What the fuck was that? Holy. There has always been division between progressive and conservative Christians. I think you could maybe make the argument that the first division of that would be, that we know of, in a real divide. Actually, no, not even that. Jewish culture, early Jewish culture was a lot of different cultures, so.
You're a treasure, Vault Hunter. Don't let anybody tell you different.
No.
Go ahead and plug that drive in.
Oh my God.
You are trusting him of all people. I thought you were...
Sin leads to the condemnation of all human children. It is, in my opinion, Graham. Remember, you're talking to an agnostic atheist, right? I do think it is absurd, but that is not what sin is, and there's no way going to tell you the fundamental thing or a human idea, condition around sin, is it? You're just kind of like talking about the consequence as it relates to in the Abrahamic religion, but why don't you try to understand what sin is for a second and realize it's not a divine concept in any way?
You ought to know your bullshit's not gonna work.
Now, what game is it?
I'm you moron. Untrue. You are my useless humanity. A cancer removed. I could not let you infect the whole with your mediocrity. Also, where did you develop this odd manner of speech? Hey, I worked hard on this accent to not sound like your evil eyeball-looking ass. Turn myself into a respected businessman, who incidentally is about to delete you for good. You do not have the power to defeat me. I sure do, dipshit. Especially when your monologuing gives me time to transform you into a virus. What? No. Surely we can come to an understanding.
Hey, it's like I get to kill you all over again.
I refuse to believe someone like you could cause my demise. No! Stop! No! What a piece of work. Now, according to Fancy, Bruce is ready to go. You get yourself to Lictor's bunker, I'll make sure Bruce meets you there.
Got it. And nice work, boss.
Hey, no congratulating till Vile Lictor's toast. Be careful out there, Vault Hunter.
Samurai, I think you're misunderstanding me as well. I think the concept of sin has merit, even though the fact that it leads to the condemnation of children for all eternity is absurd. The condemnation of people for all eternity has nothing to do with what sin is. That's a consequence of sin. But if you want to know what the philosophical merit is of sin, it's, if you think about it, sin is a relatively human condition concept. Oh. Echo water. Oh my god. I think the idea of sin is representing a part of the human condition.
One more person to take down a notch.
Why bother thinking about parts of the human condition? At least for me, I'm defining it that way. It's one of the things I remember. My biggest reason I think the Bible is not accurate or divine is because I don't think it's divine. I think it's, I feel like it's extremely humanistic. It's more of a capture of human existence. You don't think sin, as in like the fundamental idea behind sin, is fundamentally human? Not at all.
To Claptrap Aeronautics Academy, where your success is up in the air. Oh, that's good. Now accepting applications. Spots are filling up. Act now before you're doomed to a life of dismal failure. Let me make your dumb life a success.
All right, let's hear it. Claptrap what? Academy.
Claptrap Aeronautics Academy. It's the only
Chance at repentance, a chance at forgiveness, I guess, which is meant to be a hopeful thing. Once again, I find that to be a rather human idea, right? A chance at forgiveness for the things that you've done. Definitely not a human condition at all. No way. Wait. What? What am I doing? Oh, I see.
Life lessons from you, huh? This should be good.
Great! I'm glad you're on board because this sign was incredibly expensive.
What in the world is over there? Oh no. The optical cord.
You're not worthy of a Claptrap name. See that handsome hologram pupil? He's the goal. Because reaching my greatness is now your new life's purpose.
Already regretting this.
What? That's it? Oh, you made me go back.
Since you're in a state of wild overconfidence, I will note that at Claptrap Aeronautics Academy, your safeties are absolute lowest priority. Any injuries
Hurry up,
suffered
Claptrap.
here, no matter how hilarious, are the sole legal responsibility of the student. Goal platform up ahead. Also denied. Excellent gliding form. Look at all that potential out there, just waiting for you to.
Well, that's not what the Bible says, but
This is terrifyingly high up. Head back! Head back!
the Bible says it's because we disobeyed him, but
Gliding 101 passed, pupil. But to graduate my academy, you'll need to dig deep into your personal success hole and fulfill 3 aerial challenges. Now, onward to prosperity.
What?
And
Oh.
presto!
you better hurry up. Oh my god. Okay, thank you. What?
Your goal is out of reach. For now.
Huh? Where is it? No.
Successful people don't follow society's rules.
Oh
They
my.
don't read building codes or obey court summons for net. Spectra Aeronautics Academy, success is no accident. Because accidents here are mostly
How the hell did you get up there? Why? How do I climb that wall? You can fly from here? Oh. Oh shit. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. No! How could you do this to me? Well, I'm over here now. We're gonna have to be here at some point, I think. You just keep going, Trooper. I am not, actually. I know a little bit about Gnostic tradition, Islamic mysticism, and then not much after that. Oh shit.
Some say preparation is the key to success.
You're fucking flying. I'm just gonna go this way.
And I have my own universe.
I think I'll meet you here in a second, right?
This last part, it's impossible. I'm lying.
Oh look, you're here. My turn.
Yes. How's
My
that
turn to kick butt.
success feel? Does it burn? It should burn a little. One left. Hop aboard, and I'll give you a lift to the final challenge.
You make it? Gone. I just watched you like fucking ballsy a bit. I don't know where it is. What's up? Hmm? I don't know where it is. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. I think I do, in a way.
Why did I make these so spinny?
I don't like
Where's my whimsical ideas?
think it's something you can use for everything, but I very much find myself thinking in probability quite often. Wait, what?
Final challenge is ready when you are. Step on up, pupil. Time is money, and money is success. You do the math.
Like when I ride my motorcycle, you best believe I'm subscribing to Bayesian philosophy. I'm confused. Where do we go? Oh, you went up this way. Oh my god. You didn't tell me that. You can go up right here. I have been in 2 accidents. One major one, one that wasn't major. My major one was like 12 years ago, I want to say. A long time ago. I'm gonna go this way. Oh yeah, I made it. No. I mean, I am interested in aliens and extraterrestrial, but what? I just juked off the... Oh my god. But,
Amazing. Got it.
I mean, it was the other driver's fault in my major accident. But there was definitely things I could have done that would have prevented the accident. Which is kind of how most accidents are. You know, riding style, where I was in the lane. Recognizing that my light... I'm not so sure about that. Maybe in groups? Motorcycle group rides are fucking retarded. And then whenever a motorcyclist dies, if they're under the influence, which happens pretty often, then yeah, it's most definitely their fault. But
You have earned access to my ultra secret success mentality.
no,
Here it is. In this life, people will try to hold you back.
I got a new bike.
They'll call you a dumb robot.
That's what I did.
They'll accuse you of causing planetary catastrophes.
The heck? Wait, you closed it on me. How was this?
Tell anyone else. That's success. You can't cheat your way to success, pupil. That's my thing.
Oh, we go here. Oh yeah, I'm a genius. Let's go.
This is it. Race you to the finish.
What race?
If
Where do
you
I go?
have to fail, can you feel better? You're embarrassing the academy.
How do we get up there? Go there, I think. Eh? Actually, I'm not sure. Oh my. No! Give me back my juice. Bull. I think I made it. No. That's not what happened.
3 challenges done and done.
It was at nighttime. And, I was, on a 3-lane road. Not like a highway, though.
Learned that a lack of education
And
is unbelievably dangerous.
it was just after sunset, I want to say. And I was, driving about 50 in a 45. I was in the right lane, so 3 lanes, right? The right lane, right side. Oh, probably. Maybe crash. No, 3 lanes. 3 lanes. And a perpendicular road, right? So I had 2 cars near me though. So I had 2 cars behind me, and we were kind of like in a diagonal line. Me in the front, so I like this. Oh, that might work. Yep. My fucking light. You suck. There you go. Make sense? Hopefully. Well, I was the circle going this way. Put little arrows in front of everyone. Like this. Yeah, there we go. Make sense? So I had a green light. This is me in the front. I had a green light, and I watched that car that was coming from the perpendicular road come down the hill pretty much to the road I was on with the other two cars that were unfortunately diagonally behind me. And a motorcycle has one light on it, right? The car has two. A motorcycle single light will look like the light of a car behind you that has two lights because impossible to see. I don't know. Not bad, is it? Maybe it's in Lost View. Me too. I didn't actually. I got pretty lucky. But sorry to finish. Sorry. I saw it was a woman. She was driving a Bug. She stopped at the light because she had a red, and she looked. I saw her like look at me, but I think she probably didn't really see the bike at all because I probably just blended in with the car that was directly to my back left. And as soon as I entered the intersection, I mean, like, as soon as I crossed the white lines that separate the intersection from the lanes, she pulled out in front of me. And then I didn't really have any space to go to the left. And I was on a cruiser, like a Honda Shadow Spirit. I broke incorrectly. And then once I started skidding, I just kind of fell down, like laid the bike down. But I fell well. I rolled like twice. Didn't end up hitting her, and she drove off. So, a lot of things I could have done differently there. Like, for one, this is like when I first started riding, right? Like 15 years ago. There's a big problem with this right off the bat. My positioning in all three lanes is just setting myself up to die. If I was going to change how you should be on a bike, that is a much better place to be. All I did was just move the circle, right? You should never ride in the right lanes whenever possible. It's just not something you should ever do. Especially at night. So that would probably be the number one thing. And then something else I learned over time is that on a motorcycle, well, we had a green, so like I do lane split even more now. So you're definitely kind of correct, but I mean, riding right here on the line, right, would actually be a safer place to be. No, it is safer. Oh wait, you're talking about his Mossad thing, right? So, yeah, on a motorcycle, you kind of want to be on the lines, and that's actually for a lot of reasons. One, oil spills. Cars leak oil, right? If you hit oil on a motorcycle, it's kind of just game over, right? But cars generally push oil out of the way with their tires, but they don't do it in the middle of the lane. So on a motorcycle, you don't want to ride in the middle of the lane. It's also hard for a car to see you. So what you want to do is ride on a side of the lane, pretty much on the line, and you want to choose where you are on the left or the right, depending on what car you want to see you. So like, For instance, on the freeway, sometimes I just ride literally on the very, you see the circle on the very line on the very left side. And if someone pulls out in front of you on the freeway, like if someone crosses from this lane to that lane, right? You don't even have to move. But you should expect it, because if you're riding on that side of the lane, no one can see you. So you kind of have to know that people will not see you and that they will come into your lane. And that's okay as long as you position yourself properly. When you want people to see you and you have less chance of them pulling in front of you, you want to ride on that line closest to them, right? You want to ride pretty much right in their mirror, because that's where they're going to see you the easiest. It's how you defend your lane, essentially. So there's a lot of things that when I had my first accident, I didn't know. But even though it was her fault, when I look back on it, there's probably like a million things I could have done that would have never made it happen, for sure. Definitely. Hopefully that makes sense. I like that idea, Samurai. Actually, I think that's pretty cool. I'll take it. But I'm gonna end my stream here, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'm a little exhausted from the debate still, so